and welcome to the Tome of Worms podcast, a podcast about all things board gaming. I'm your host, Minty. Sitting across from me, me old mate, Pops. Hello.
All right. All right.
How are we doing, mate? All right?
Yeah, good.
Good. Tonight's episode's a little bit different for us. I think it probably will be a short one again. I apologise to those people that like the long episodes. Not that anybody normally does. Tonight's episode, we're going to be talking about game nights or days, slash playing games at home or at somebody else's house or at a game club, that kind of stuff. Is what we're going to do today. It should be nice and easy. I don't know how many game nights you've been involved in over the years.
Poker nights, loads.
Well,
Done loads of poker nights. I guess they kind of count.
They count. Chess nights. Have been part of chess club.
I did at school actually.
Yeah.
I was part of chess club at school, but I wasn't very good. And then me and my girlfriend went and played chess in a coffee shop in Oxford the other week. We didn't know how to play.
Do you know how to play chess?
Well, we know how to play, but it's the tactics.
Oh, the strategy.
It's
the
strategy.
You
I'm
two are
not,
just moving bits around.
pretty much.
Lovely.
I think she's better at strategy games than me. I'm not very good at all.
We still need to defeat her.
Ludo. She's
Ludo.
still 100% record. We even found a supermarket Lidl Ludo.
Ooh.
It might have been Lidl Ludo or it might have been Audi Ludo.
Oh, nice.
One or the other.
Is that just called Pop and Hop?
It should do. So yeah, I've told her I'm not playing her with that because she'll just destroy me.
Just a standard Saturday night for you, isn't it?
Well, yeah. No, we played Dog Park the other day.
Good game.
I really enjoyed it. She was like, it was really rubbish.
Oh,
I don't think she fully understood it.
I played it for the first time at a game night. It was supposed to be D&D night, but everybody was ill, or there's obviously a couple of them our group are preggers, so we kind of changed it into a game night, and we played Dog Park. Good game. I enjoyed it.
I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I've got all the expansions bar New Tricks.
Yep.
It's just the one I need to get. So, no, I really enjoyed it. You know, you've got to think about like what dog do I want? What breed? If I have more of this breed, it means I get more points.
Absolutely. And I thought I knew a lot about dogs. There are a lot of dogs in that deck that I didn't know what they were.
There were a few I knew, and then someone was like, I've never heard of this.
There was one dog that popped up for us, and it didn't look real. It had a black face and a brown body. And then we looked it up, and that's exactly how it looks. It looks like it's just had its head in a fire.
Oh.
But yeah, no, definitely, that's a good game. Do enjoy that one.
Yes.
Would have to get that to the table at some
You
point.
should try and... did you play with any of the expansions?
No,
or was
they
it
just
a
had the
group?
base.
So with the expansions, it's just more dogs.
Yeah, you've got the famous dogs one, haven't you?
Yeah,
Lassie
so
and
I-
Beethoven.
No, I don't think they're in there. But
Oh,
so yeah,
Cujo.
so I've got. So with the collector's edition, you get world European dogs and world dogs,
Yeah.
or famous dogs, and then I've got the other expansion set, which is famous or world. Anyway,
oh, nice.
but yeah, just new tricks. I want to give that a try. That was released at the Expo last year, I
I
believe.
think so. Ginger's got new tricks.
Yes.
But yeah, we'll have to have a look at that.
Yes.
So, we're going to start on a positive note for game nights. I know most people want to hear about horror stories and all that kind of stuff. But we're going to start with what we like about game nights. So, is there anything in particular that you like about game nights?
I like, it's just getting together and socialising. It's more of just hanging out with friends. However, I haven't really done, like I said, that many game nights. It's kind of just been like maybe one or two people additional.
It's just normally me and you, isn't it, for us?
Yes, usually because everyone else lives so far away or they're working. It's sad times.
Absolutely, we're going to try and remedy that this year.
You good excuse to eat food with everyone. Have some drinks.
Yeah.
Eat sweets.
You need to be careful with that one. Yeah, the social aspect's a big thing for me too. And we met new people through it. We had a few friends, and they were like, "Oh, can my partner come along?" And it's like, "Yeah, absolutely." Obviously, up to 8 players normally, because any more than that, it just gets messy. A 12-player game of Whitechapel was carnage. But yeah, the just being social is something I like about board games anyway.
Yeah, I think there's. It's like, do you have a regular group of people that you play with, or do you like open it up to everyone?
Oh, absolutely.
Kind of thing.
It was one of those things. It's why I used to go to the war game club, because I thought, I'll go down, play with different people, whatever. That didn't happen. You've met me before. That I'm not going down and playing with some randomer. Not after hearing somebody saying that they wouldn't allow somebody to play bolt action because their tank was one shade off of green. But yeah, it is one of those, like, it's nice to have a regular group. I'm starting a regular group for a certain game that I have on my shelf soon. I'm not going to say it in case it jinxes it. I've tried to play it twice with 2 different groups, and it's just not worked out as well.
It hasn't worked.
But yeah, like I said, I've got my D&D group, and then for New Year's Day, instead of playing D&D, we played board games, so that was nice to play with different people. It's something that leads on to my next like, and that's introducing people to new games. Games that they wouldn't pick up themselves. Or there's people that I've played games with that don't play board games. My family being one of them, you know, I take board games over to my grandparents and play with them. Or my parents, like my mum likes some board games. When they stayed with us at Christmas, we had a couple of game nights. Most of the time we just ended up playing Outsmarted. But we have played a few other games with them, and it's just nice to see people's reactions. Obviously, it's not always positive for some people. Like I said, your missus didn't enjoy Dog Park, but she might if she's here with my missus, and then she understands, or she sees what's going on, or whatever. But that's a big like of mine. Like, I like to go to other people's game nights and play something that I wouldn't normally play. Even if it is something that doesn't interest me, like Dog Park. Like,
someone goes to you and says, "I've got this really good board game. It's really fun to play," and people go, "Oh, what's it about?" Walking a dog in a park. People are instantly going to laugh at you because, like, what do you mean?
Oh, absolutely. And the funny part about who we played Dog Park with, she's a dog groomer. Which is why somebody, like, she probably bought the game because she's into it, or if somebody bought her it, it's because she likes dogs. But there are some games that I've got a game about buying and selling tulips.
Yeah.
You know, I'd never go out and buy that or go out and actively try and play it, but I was introduced to it and it was really good fun. That's why it's on my shelf.
Yeah. It was the same with Earth with me.
Yep.
Why would I never think about playing a game where I'm planting plants and pottery and things like that?
Absolutely. And it is one of those that it is good to see that side of it. Introducing a player to a game, they're like, "Oh, really don't want to play a game like that." They complain about it, and then they get into it and they go, "Actually,
that was really good.
It's really good fun." Like, yeah, you might just be collecting artwork or tulips, but the interaction you get between the players, or obviously, most people enjoy a game more when they win.
Yeah, always. I think, kind of building on that, if you're having a game night, no one is not allowed to play. That is I might be contentious here. People might not agree with me, but the whole point of having a game night is that everyone gets involved. Everyone plays. Like, if someone sits there and goes, "Oh, I'm not playing,"
I'm going to bring that up in a little while, a little bit later in the episode about that. I understand, as a positive side of it, is getting everybody involved. You go to a game night to play games.
Yeah.
You know, if I invite you to a games night and your missus comes around with you, if she doesn't want to play games, then my missus will probably sit with her. They can talk about books or something, but there'll be that preamble before. If you're going to a games night, you're going to play. And it's nice to get involved in that kind of thing. I understand some people are wary of games. Like if you walk in and I've got Fireball Island set up, it's intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
But normally, somebody who's good at board games will tailor it to the people that are there.
Yeah, I think a way around that is that you let people know what games are likely to be on the table that night. I think a couple of days before, just say, hey, here's a choice of games for this week or this month or whatever.
Yeah, that's something I'm going to bring up in a little while and elaborate on that kind of thing. But yeah, like I like being able to go to a game night and it being a game being ready,
Mm-hmm.
or a game being chosen, not even ready.
Yeah, I think you have to have the game chosen because you need people to get there. What if you say your game night starts at 6 o'clock? You don't want people turning up at 6:30.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you can turn up any time before 6, but as soon as it gets, we're going to start unboxing at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll
ready to play like 10 past.
We'll go through that when we talk about board game etiquette.
Yeah.
Something else I like to see at board game nights and why I like board game nights is seeing how different people play the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like the two people we played Dog Park with were they had their way of playing, and then me and my wife sat down and played it, and they were like, "Oh, we never thought about doing something like that." And you go, "Oh, you don't think you're doing anything different, but that's the way you see the game."
Mm-hmm.
They might see something that's a little bit off to what you're doing, and you might not see what they're doing properly. And then you get to the end, and you're all on similar points. I mean, Earth's a good example of that. I played it with the brothers,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody did something different, and all of us sat there going, "Why are you doing that?" And then at the end, we all had 77 points, and we'd done it completely differently.
Yeah.
And it is nice to see that, and it gives you a new perspective on the game, especially for me, because I tend to teach a lot of games. And it's nice to be able to, not so much play for somebody else, but give helpful hints.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think you're kind of helping people through games that they might not necessarily have ever heard of or ever played, and it takes away that intimidation of that game. When we first played,
that's a long list you've got in your head right there.
Ankh. Okay. When we first played Ankh, it was quite a big game. So you explaining like how it plays, and me actually going, this plays a little bit similar to another game I've got. Actually took that intimidation away. So
absolutely,
it does help out.
Something I will say about game nights is it does depend on who's teaching.
Mm-hmm.
I don't class myself as the best teacher. I'm forever forgetting rules, reading the rules wrong, whatever. But that's what a game night's for. It's something that will come up later as well. If you're playing a new game to everybody, you've got to expect some mistakes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not everyone's going to interpret the rules
Mm-hmm.
the same way,
unless they're written, stone cold black and white.
which none of them are.
No, there's always
name me a game that is stone written, easy to play straight away, that isn't open to some kind of interpretation.
Absolutely,
there isn't one.
Is there anything else that you like about game nights?
Like in terms of themes, like sometimes you could have a theme. So around Super Bowl time, there'd be a lot of Blood Bowl being played. We looked at Blood Bowl
At Warhammer World.
At Warhammer World. Pay a couple of quid, have a couple of games, and then watch the game with food as well. So there are big themes like that. Around Halloween, you could be playing. Come on, help me out here.
Whitechapel.
Stifling
Stifling
you could
Dark.
play Mysterium.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stifling Dark. You could be playing
Anything horror related, really.
Yeah.
Mansions and Madness. And
Yep.
yeah, coming off of that, the theme side of it, like, I think the atmosphere is very important. I like to find, like, on Spotify, most games have playlists for music. I like to have a little bit of music on, not
Mhm.
too loud, obviously, just thematic.
Yep.
Because that adds to that immersion of the. If you just sat in a room and everyone's quiet, learning a new game, it's not as good as having, that. We played Nemesis, and Neil found a 4-hour loop of droning of a spaceship, and it was just on, and just having that just brought
Just
you into
focuses
it.
you, yeah.
Like, it's nice to see have that, and everybody gets around it, and that's something that is a big thing for me.
Yeah, like you don't have to dress up in cloaks and everything if you're playing D&D.
No, absolutely not.
You don't have to do that at all. But if someone wants to, fine, go ahead.
Absolutely.
But to have the background sound, to have even that, we'll touch on the most important thing of a game night soon. But when snacks and drinks that fit in with the theme as well. If you're playing a medieval based game, you might want a load of mead and chicken.
Absolutely, and it is something that some people can do. I mean, we've done it once. I had people round for D&D, and we did a roast, but everybody did something different.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, one person cooked the meat, one person did the veg, that kind of stuff. Like, that kind of thing can be important, and it can help. I mean, I don't think every game night needs to be themed.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's a way of relaxing or just hanging out with friends. It doesn't have to be like party night kind of thing.
No, absolutely. I think the themed ones are always going to be the most popular ones. People are going to like we did Mansions by Candlelight,
Mm-hmm.
and that was just really good fun because we played one night and it was dark and I had a load of candles, and it adds to that,
Yeah.
But if you do that every time, it takes away from that a little bit, I think.
Yeah, you just gotta give it an identity in a way and not make it repetitive.
Yep, absolutely. Anything else to add on that section?
Don't. I like it when there's a good selection of games, but not like you're not playing loads of games. And
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll talk about this a little bit more later, but
Yeah.
you don't want to overload people.
Yeah.
They were like, if I came over here and you were like, oh, should we play board games? I'll be like, okay, what do you want? And you go, you pick. I'll be here for an hour going, so having a selection and going, look, there's 5 on the table, pick 2.
Yep.
I think that's better.
I think something that doesn't really come in any of these categories we're going to talk about is that setup. If you're going to a game night and there's a game you want to play, tell people beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Because
jump in the WhatsApp group or whatever.
Yeah, that communication is very important. You need to, like, if I go to a game night and I put a game on the table and nobody wants to play it, I might get a little bit, I really wanted to play this. But if you talk about it beforehand, everybody might go, yeah, or actually, we really wanted to try this one tonight.
Yeah.
There is that side of it. But like I said, that might be covered a little bit more later. But yeah, that communication is key.
It's the same when we go and play golf and someone goes, I want to go and play this course.
Yep.
And then 2 others want to go play a different course. So I'm not getting the enjoyment out of this because this isn't the course I want to play.
Yeah, but it's just the way it works, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It might not be a course you want to play, you get there and you love it.
Yeah, it happens like that sometimes.
We're going to move on to the next little section. This is a popular section for me. This would be the snacks and food of a game.
This is the
or
part
drinks.
I've been waiting for.
I think it's very important
Yes.
what kind of snacks and drinks and food is had. Mainly, one of them being is how they react to actually being eaten around a board game.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants a massive greasy burger next to their board game.
No, not at all.
And also, it shouldn't be down to one person to provide snacks.
So this is one thing I was going to say. It was like, really, like traditionally, it's always been the host provides the food. It's always been that. However, more and more people showing up, that puts a lot of financial pressure and a lot of pressure in general on that person to provide the right food for everyone. Everyone might have different dietary requirements, whatever. So I think more and more people now are going, well, I'll bring a dish, you bring a dish. I'll tell you what, we'll order in, whatever.
Yeah, I think we're quite lucky in our game group. Everybody offers.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, we'll offer to throw a chili on or something, and then somebody will say, well, I'll bring some snacks, and I'll bring some drinks, and I'll do this, and I'll do that. Now, I know I played a game with the brothers and Ginge, and the brothers bought snacks, and Ginge didn't, and he was like, what? Now, me and Ginge have been best friends for God knows how long. I expect him to come around my house and just eat my food.
Yeah.
Because when I go to his house, I do the same thing. But there's no expectation on people to bring snacks. It's just nice. Normally, we'll send out a message a couple of days before saying, what do people want to do about food? Do you want us to get in some frozen pizzas? Do we want to order in? Do people mind bringing snacks and drinks? We'll have a few bits here. But also, what I like about people bringing snacks is they bring something that you might not buy. But once again, like playing games with different people, people bring different flavoured crisps or different snacks, or if they've just been on holiday, you get stuff from a different country, or, if you've just been to the expo and you've bought, a case of Needhogger mead, it comes to the table.
You're saying that we've done that before?
Me and Neil have, yeah. The last time we played Dystopian Wars, a bottle of elderflower mead disappeared throughout the day. And it's just nice for that. And it does take that financial pressure away. I mean, I love hosting a board game night. I love hosting a board game night. I have enough games here to play for all eternity, I think.
Yep.
But obviously, I don't want to have to supply enough for everybody to get through the day.
The thing is, as well, if you're supplying all the food and whatnot, when are you going to have time to play the game? Mm-hmm. Exactly. You're running around catering for their needs. Sometimes you'll have a group of people you've invited around for a games night, and some people they would have eaten beforehand, or some people haven't eaten at all, and so you've got that mix of, oh well, I'm not going to eat. I've eaten before, and then people going, I'm absolutely starving.
Yep.
Oh, what have you brought? Oh, just some light bites. Great, that's not going to fill me up.
That does cross over into something that I'm going to speak to later, and that is turning up with no snacks and then eating all of the other snacks.
Yes.
That's
a no.
I don't mind that if you've been at work all day and you've come straight from work or whatever. That's fine.
Yeah, but people would have eaten at lunchtime at work, so
yeah. There's times, some of my game days are long, and you can have people that sit there and they eat all of the crisps and they eat all of the sweets, and then you turn around and there's nothing left, and you go, oh.
I've just spent £5 on this.
Where's all?
And I've had nothing.
Where's all my stuff gone?
Yeah.
I don't expect to eat everything that I bought. Like, I'm quite lucky, once again, in the game group that I play in mainly, if you don't open a packet, you take it home with you. Mm-hmm. I've been to some places where by the end of the night, somebody's picked up all the bags and put it in their cupboard.
Yep.
Now, I do go to the night thinking that nothing's going to be left, but I'm also horrific when it comes to going shopping for a game night. I'll spend so much money.
Yeah, you want to just cater for everything, and you don't need to. And I think this is why it's better when you say, right, everyone bring one thing, or and someone bring a.
Yeah, it's one of those. I like to say to people, if you bring it and we don't open it, then take it. Or even if it does get opened and you want to take it home.
Yeah, I'm like the same. Like if I brought it, and I haven't opened it, and I've gone to someone else's house. At the end of the day, it's gone to that night. Whereas if, I don't know, maybe it's the selfish side of me, but if it was at my house and I'd brought something, I'd be a little bit peeved if someone took it home with them.
Absolutely, but I'm always open to that conversation of, oh, those bugles are really nice. Do you mind if I take those?
Yeah.
Do you want to take something of mine? That's always that.
Yeah, I'd rather have the conversation and go, oh, I got those, and no, they disappeared.
The main rule of snacks: never enough snacks.
Never enough. That is true.
I'd rather somebody I'd rather have too many snacks than not enough, and people get hungry. we'll go into something about like what we like to see, what snacks, what food.
Mm-hmm.
I like crisps, to a certain extent. If somebody sat there eating 6 packets or Whatsits and then touching my game without wiping their fingers, I'm going to go mental.
Yeah, same.
Um,
What's its full stop? No way. They're a no on my table.
But crisps are a good board game snack.
Crisps and tubs of sweets.
Yeah.
You need that sugar to keep you going. Things like that.
So, something that's making an appearance at most of my latest game nights are brookie bites. The half cookie, half brownie.
Yes.
They don't last long at all once they get opened.
This is the downside if you buy snacky things like that. They go so much quicker than if there's a massive bag of sensations or something.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, a couple of people I play games with, they are crisp fiends.
Mm-hmm.
Like the crisps disappear, but you know that before you play with them.
Yep.
But yeah, crisps, brookie bites. I like to have the brothers sometimes bring donuts, Krispy Kreme donuts, or those new air fry donuts that they sell at Tesco's, Urban.
I don't think I've had any of those.
That's always nice, and that they are a bit more expensive. I've done one before where I've ordered from Butterwick Bakery and got stuff in, or a cream cake selection from Sainsbury's or whatever. Obviously,
Beautiful.
all of this stuff is very dependent on what we're playing.
Yeah,
who's playing it.
If time of day as well.
Yeah.
Like if it's like an evening game, you're going to want a meal. You're going to want something hot.
Yeah.
You're not going to just want to pick out on cakes and sweets and run diabetes through the roof.
Absolutely. That moves me on to my go-to for a game night for food, hot food. It's normally pizza.
Yeah.
It might sound strange to some people putting pizza close to a board game, but I bring pizza up on plates with plates for people to eat pizza on.
So is it? This is one thing that I was kind of thinking about was if you've got things like pizzas, like burritos, wraps, burgers, anything like that. To me, that would be like we eat first, then we play games. Whereas if it's something like sandwiches, snacks, things like that, I'm quite happy to have them by my games.
I'm normally happy to have most stuff around my games, but that's because I know the people I'm playing with will respect what I have.
Mm-hmm.
I bring, like I said, pizzas up on plates. I bring plates up for people to have their pizza on, and then I bring up kitchen roll or wipes.
Mm-hmm.
So that, and it's kind of, we don't even need to say it with the people we play games with. They said to wipe their fingers before picking something up.
Mm-hmm.
Or if they do put grease on the board, they wipe it off straight away, and you don't even need to point it out to them.
Yeah.
Just because that's how they respect their game. Now, I understand that not all game groups are like this. I play my board games with a 5-year-old, which is why I'm a little bit more lax about it. I do get annoyed when she breaks things or when she fills the box full of crumbs or whatever, but she's 5. I expect that.
Yeah, it's going to happen, isn't it?
But I do know some people that won't even allow drinks on the table. Now, you can look at the size of my table now we're sat at. It's massive. But we play with some people and they don't want drinks on this table. It's kind of why I bought this mat that I've got that dictates the play zone. So if people don't like...
That we are putting our drinks on.
Yeah, it's fine for today. But like there's enough space at the end of the table there to put snacks and drinks and stuff. So it doesn't really matter to me that much. But I understand some people are a lot more, But that once again, that'll come up in where we do the etiquette of a game night.
Yeah, I think etiquette is a main thing. I think in terms of drinks, I think water is a must.
Yep.
For me, I'm a big water drinker. I'm not really much of an alcohol drinker in terms of when I'm playing games or anything like that. But maybe some Coke or Fanta or something. No, anything like that. But that can be hit and miss. Like people might not want fizzy drinks. They might just want still drinks. Maybe some squash or some fruit drinks. No, if they do want alcohol, I would be like, bring your own beer.
It will be.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of those. I think drinks is a very personal thing. Like if I'm teaching games, I like to have a can of Monster, or as I am sat here now, I've got a caramel macchiato carton that's currently empty
In the pint glass.
in a pint glass. Just to keep my brain a little bit active.
Yeah.
When I play a D&D, I have 2 cans of Monster because I know it's going to be 4, 6, 8 hours.
Could be a long one.
Just to keep going. When we play at Andy's house, we drink a lot of tea. You know, it is a personal thing. Like for me, with snacks, if there's something you like to drink when you play games, take it with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll always take cans of Monster because I know some people don't have Monster, and I'd never expect somebody to buy Monster in for me. You know, I'm gonna drink it, but I don't expect that. It's like I have a can of 0% Guinness there that somebody bought with them for D&D one day and didn't drink, but
they'll turn up next game and go, "Oh, I left that here."
Yeah. There is one thing towards drinking alcohol at a board game, and that is just making sure it kind of suits the atmosphere you're in.
Mm-hmm.
Playing D&D, I don't mind if my players get drunk because it normally adds to the thing. But most of the time, most people are driving, so it's not normally.
Yeah, if you're playing something like Pandemic or Star Wars or something like that, you know, which is a long player. As you get more and more drunk throughout the night, your decision making goes a bit off and kind of ruins the vibe of the game night, I guess.
I'm all for drinking at a game night. It's not a problem. But when it starts to affect everyone, then there's an issue. You know, like if you're playing Cards Against Humanity or like those kind of party games, it kind of lends itself to drinking. A poker night, have a few beers, whatever. But if you're sat there not listening to what the person who's trying to teach you the game,
it just feels like a waste of time.
Yeah, it's just not worth it. Like I said, I'm all for one having beers. Like I said, me and Neil drank a whole bottle of mead while we were playing, but neither of us were overly drunk. Weren't slurring, whatever. Yeah, decision making became a little bit varied, but that's a risk.
Yeah.
But because it was both of us, it didn't really matter. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those. Again, I mean, we found Needhogger mead when we went to the Board Game Expo last year.
Yep.
And it's become quite it's not cheap, but it's so good.
And
it does make it quite thematic when you play D&D and you can sit and drink mead or whatever. But normally I'm working the next day, so I don't drink. But on the occasion I do, then I'll have a few. I'll never get too drunk because that does also diminish, you know, your reaction. So if you do go to knock over a glass and you spill it over somebody's game, I will rip your head off. I don't mind, you know, an accident's an accident. It's going to happen. But
I think that kind of leads on nicely to one of my things in terms of that is know when to call it a night. In a sense, you know, when everyone's been playing games for 3-4 hours throughout the night, you know, everyone's been having some food, everyone's been drinking, whatever. Their energy level's going to drop, and you kind of need to know, okay, look, let's not suddenly go, oh, just one more game, guys. You know, it's like, okay, it's come to its natural end. Let's end the night here. Everyone's had a good time. In that way, you're going to get more people. They're going to come back again, or you're going to go to theirs. Or
absolutely, and that's a great segue into the next bit we'll talk about, which is etiquette. And yeah, that is a big thing. Knowing when to stop. There might be some people that don't want to, and if the host is still happy to play, some people might leave, and then somebody else might want to play another game or that kind of stuff. Obviously, it's all down to the host at the end of the day. Don't outstay your welcome. Luckily for me, it doesn't normally happen. We'll get to an end of a game and I'll say, well, is anybody up for another one?
Yeah,
but
let them make that decision though, and don't feel upset or put out if someone goes, oh, actually, no, I've had enough now.
Normally as well, before a game night, I'll ask, you know, what kind of time are we looking at finishing? You know, I've got a family at the end of the day, unless obviously they're there. But it's just, you know, I've got work tomorrow. I need to be in bed by 9:30 latest. It's just so people are aware, and that is one of my things for etiquette, and that is the expectation of the night. Is setting that expectation.
Mm-hmm.
Don't turn up to what's down as a games day expecting it to be 4 hours. You know, say to people, what time are we starting? If it starts at 9 and you're like, oh, what time are we looking to finish? And somebody says, whenever, expect a long day. You know,
Yeah.
I'm more than happy for people to drop in and out throughout the day. It's not a problem. When I organised games with the brothers or Skev,
Ginge.
either one, we know we're going to play for a while. It's something that didn't occur to me at first when we were inviting new people round. It's like, oh, we were playing one game and they were going, oh yeah, cool, we're going to go home now. And I was like, what? We've only played one game. But actually, sometimes that's needed.
Sometimes that one game can be 3 hours long.
Yeah. If you're playing Twilight Imperium, don't expect it to be over in an hour.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it is stated as 8 hours.
Yeah.
Maximum 8
Yeah.
hours. But it's, setting that expectation, and that comes alongside the whole working out what game you want to play first.
I think etiquette is kind of be considerate of who's coming.
Yeah.
You don't want to do a game that is really heavy weighting, because people just aren't really going to be into it.
Not unless it's pre-agreed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if you have chose a game and you're going to somebody's house, maybe try and get it to them before you get there.
Yeah.
Or come a little bit earlier and set it up.
Mm-hmm.
Normally what I'll tend to do, like when me and Ginge played Skyrim, I had it set up the night before. So we were ready to go,
Mm-hmm.
because the setup took an hour. Because it's first setup, first play, whatever. It's just nice to have something like that. I mean, I'm really excited to play Frostpunk,
Mm-hmm.
which one of the brothers has. But when we play it, he said he was going to set it up before we get there, because obviously to a point that you can, just because it cuts down on the time. And yeah, it comes under expectations as well. I don't expect a load of new players to come in and play Gloomhaven or Rebellion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people don't play board games, and when they walk in this room, they're like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, it's that. Wow. You like I said before, you feel intimidated by the sheer number of boxes on top of you,
Mm-hmm.
and actually you look in and go, "What the hell?" No, there's board games here that I've never heard of at all.
But I sit here and still say I don't know what to play. You know,
Yeah,
if it's just me and my wife,
it's like you're spoiled for choice kind of thing.
yeah, that's why we've done a challenge this year. We challenged ourselves. It's a 2-year challenge, really, to play everything on my board game shelf within 2 years.
I'm going to up your challenge. Play everything that you've got before you buy another game.
No, never going to happen. That's like saying I can't buy any more Warhammer models till I paint them all or build them all.
You're not allowed to buy any Warhammer models until you've painted them all.
Never happening. They bring out too many shiny new models.
No, they do. That
Whole cupboard is full of unbuilt models.
It is. I've looked in that cupboard before. It's just sprues everywhere.
One of my most important things for a board game night, and it comes under etiquette, it comes under big no-nos, is respect the person teaching the game. They're taking their time out of their board game thing to tell you how to play, so just listen.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you don't learn from listening, you need to learn by playing. They're telling you it because you need to know it.
Mm-hmm. And don't be afraid to go, I don't quite understand that.
Oh god, yeah, question it.
Just always ask. Always never assume, because if you make an ass out of you and me,
It's one of those, like, I've done it before. I've sat down and started teaching a game and two people pulled their phones out. It's like, I'm just going to stop talking, because all you're going to do for the rest of the day is, what can I do?
Yeah, how do I do this? How do I? What do you mean I can't do this?
It's
how
one of
do
those.
I do that?
It's why now sometimes when I teach, I just get the video out.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody can watch the video. Everybody knows what's going on. and it's easier that way sometimes. Not everybody learns the same way, I know that, but if somebody's taking their time to teach you it, at least listen.
You can share a video in a group and say, look, this is what we're playing this week. Watch this. Get a feel for the game. If you've got any questions, let me know.
I did that for Twilight Imperium last time we played, but the video's 45 minutes long.
Yeah, no one's really got 45 minutes to watch just to turn up to play a game, you know.
But we sat down and we all watched it together. And that's how we learned it. But
like a little happy night.
It is one of those. I don't mind people questioning or later in the day saying, oh, what does this mean or whatever. But when the initial teach is happening, just listen.
I think in terms of other bits of etiquette, I think etiquette for the host, because they need to be considerate of the people that are coming. Try to play 2, maybe a maximum of 3 games, because depending on the time scale, if they're an hour long, great. I think game night really is 3-4 hours.
Yeah, game evening, game night. Yeah, absolutely.
Game day, that's fine. You can do what the hell you want in however long. But in terms of a night, yeah, maybe 2 or 3 games. Also, I think have a couple of filler games as well. So when people turn up or a game finishes early, people aren't waiting around then. So, you have a very, very quick game of Top Trumps or have a very quick game of Pac-Man Quadrador. 15-minute game, maybe not even that.
I think that's dependent on the group, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I think being prepared to only play one game is a very big thing. It took me a while to get used to because of how I used to play games with the group I used to play with. We'd start at 9 a.m, we'd finish at 2 o'clock in the morning, and we'd just play games all day, and that became normal, But I used to go to bed with a headache because you'd learnt 5 games and they were heavy, heavy games.
Yeah.
Whereas now, even when we do the game days, it's 2 or 3 games or 2 really big games and a load of filler games.
Well, if you're playing one lone game, say, and it's a long game, 3-4 hours long, it can't be a game where someone's eliminated, because there's nothing worse than being the person that's eliminated first. I know you're sat there for 2.5 hours whilst everyone else has fun.
I think for something like Twilight Imperium, having that rule, if you get eliminated, then you can leave if you want to, because there's going to be no other game that day. That expectation's there. It's like a poker night.
Yeah.
Most people, unless you're the host, as soon as they're out, obviously normally the first person out just becomes the dealer.
Yeah.
But that expectation's there. You can leave if you want to. You don't need to stay and watch a game for another few hours. But having that conversation, there is an element of elimination in this game. It's uncontrollable. If you get eliminated, you get eliminated. It's something that leads on to one of my other etiquette games. Not everyone is going to like the game you like.
No.
So don't get butthurt when somebody goes, I really didn't like it, I hate it. I really don't want, my wife's a great example. There's a lot of games in here that I love that she won't even play because it's not her game. It's not what she likes, and I respect that. Obviously, she's always willing to try that game or play a game, but if she's played it once and she really, really hated it, then she isn't going to play it again, and I'm not going to force her to. But if you go to a few game nights and you bring the same game and it's not getting played, speak up.
Yeah.
Just say, look, I've bought this a couple of times. I really want to play it with you guys. Do you mind if we play it? Most people are going to be okay with that.
I think some groups will have a rotation where, yes, it might be at the same person's house every night, every week, whatever, or you're going round and round. But each person goes, right, okay, I chose a game this week. you pick the game this week, and if it's a game that I don't want to play, well, that's not a problem because I chose last week.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it is, and that kind of leads on to my next one, which is respecting other people's games.
Mm-hmm.
Don't sit there slagging it off, slamming pieces off the table because you didn't want to play this game, bending cards, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like don't stress out for like how you hated that game just because things didn't go your way. Like when we played Anks, I got absolutely destroyed.
Yep.
And I was like, this rule doesn't make sense.
Absolutely, but it's being able to sit there and talk to the person whose game it is, and you go, right, well, we'll definitely have a look. I think the game version we played and the map we played didn't lend itself to the 2-player that well. So it's me trying to say to you, next time we'll try a different scenario. We'll try this. We'll check this rule, double check it, triple check it, whatever. Look into it. I know in your head that rule didn't work, but that's not a part of the game. It's not about area control as in model form. It's because there's a limited amount of that action that you can do. You're just lucky that you can do it.
Yeah.
It's setting up to make sure that you're the one that activates that action and not the other person. And there is that difference to it because I could see you were annoyed by it.
Oh, I was so annoyed I could threw your table out the window.
Exactly, but you didn't. You respected the thing. Like if somebody tells you to once, fine. Please don't put your drink too close to my game. It's their game. You're playing somebody else's game. I've had it before where somebody's thrown a load of cards across the table. Well, that's fine. Once is fine. If I have to ask you 3 or 4 times, then it's not on. You're not going to get invited again. Just because you're playing somebody else's game that you didn't want to play or you're losing, don't get butthurt because somebody has done a move that has completely ruined your strategy. It's a game.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it goes back in the box, back on the shelf. That's it.
Yeah, it is one of those. Like, if somebody's made a move, it's because it's the move they needed to do to win. They're not going to consider your strategy, isn't it?
No.
If it's cooperative, fine. Be annoyed at them. But when it's a competitive game, please don't get upset because somebody's done something that stopped you from doing something else. But yeah, like, just finishing up on the etiquette bit there is just respect everybody in there. Some people might learn differently. Some people might take a lot longer to take a turn. They'll know who I'm talking about when I say this. There is somebody in our gaming group who is very slow at taking a turn, to the point that when we used to play games, we used to play a second game next to it while he was taking his turn. Just because he likes to check everything that he does. Now, people get annoyed of it. People get very annoyed of it. But if you know that person's going to be there and that annoys you that much, don't play. Don't go to that game night. The reason people play like that is they could be highly dyslexic and struggle to read. That they want to check that they're not wasting a single move that they do. Yeah, games can take longer with people like that. But if you're playing a new game and they've never played it before, give them a little bit of extra time. Respect that people play games in different ways. Like, yeah, I make a joke that he plays really slow, but most of the time I enjoy playing games with him most because I get the most out of watching what he's doing. Don't get me wrong, there was a time we played Magic the Gathering and I physically fell asleep in my chair while he was taking his turn, but it was 11 o'clock at night, so that was expected.
That's expected, yeah.
And when we joke about it, he doesn't get butthurt about it. He knows he takes his time, but that's how he plays. And most of the time, if you berate him, he takes longer.
Yeah. I'm the same.
You know, and if somebody does take a quick go, and you do take quick goes, don't have a go at the other people for taking too long. Don't have a go at people for asking questions. And don't have a go at people that make a move and ask to redo it. You know, it's not professional chess. We're not in a tournament. if nothing else has happened, then fine, go back, do it again. You know,
You're not going to learn if you don't make those mistakes. You know what I mean?
absolutely. I'm not going to let you rewind half an hour, but you know, if you move something there, look at your cards and go, oh, I can't actually do what I want to do. Can I take that back? Then yeah, you take the whole thing back and just go again.
Yeah. It's we've done it before in Blood Bowl, and I've made a move and you've made a move, and then we've gone, hold on, that ruins both of us. Let's go back a step.
Yep, because it just doesn't work, and it is a respect thing. If you're going to a game night and there's somebody there you don't like, either suck it up or don't go.
There you go.
It's simple as talk to the host and say, look, I really want to come, but I can't play games with this person. Then you might organise another night where they know that person isn't available for you to come, you know, and the host might be like, oh, why is this person not coming to any of my game nights? Is it because it's at my house or whatever? Then fine. But then if you host a game night, you don't have to invite everyone.
No, you just put the shout out to the group and just say, hey, who wants to come? That way, then someone who doesn't get on with the other person will see their response.
Yeah. Just one more thing on the etiquette thing that we touched on earlier. Let people know if you're going to be late.
Yep, definitely. Like no one wants someone walking in halfway, who then needs to be told how the game works.
Oh,
what character they're going to be.
If you're going to be late, expect the game to start.
Yeah.
You know, most of our game groups are good enough that they'll play a little bit for the person so that they can join in when they get there, or we can set up another quick game before they get there, or we might eat before you get there. But just let people know. Don't just turn up an hour and a half late.
Yeah. No, it's not on, really. It's just kind of you wouldn't do that any other time, even if you were meeting friends out for a drink or a restaurant or something like that. You wouldn't turn up an hour late to a restaurant.
No, absolutely. To be fair, I think what we've done there is covered most of the stuff that I've got for dislikes. Just one other thing, and that is if you're talking to somebody while other people are taking their turn, don't expect to be caught up. If you're doing other things, it's a bit different. Like when we're playing D&D and my daughter's here, then me or my wife might have to pop out quickly, and then we'll come back and get caught up. If you're there playing on your phone, talking, ignoring everything that's going on while the game's going on, don't expect to be caught back up on everything that's just happened.
No.
Might be a little bit, like, oh yeah, I went here, and here, and did this, but not all the time. It's just a respect thing again. You've come to play games. I'm never going to tell people phone over there so you can't touch your phone. You know, it might come to that at some point because it counts for me as well. When I'm waiting for people to take the turn, I'll go on my phone, and it is just natural because everyone's attached to their phones these days. But that's why normally I run the music off my phone, so then I can't touch it. Yeah,
because you're going to disrupt the flow of the night as well, aren't you?
Absolutely. We've got one more little section to do. It is going to be a little bit of a Debbie Downer. This is absolute no-nos of a games night. Things that where you draw the line where you will ask everybody to leave or certain people to leave and you won't invite them anymore or that kind of stuff. Is there anything that you have there?
Yeah, my thing's kind of like the disrespect thing. It's like, look, you're in my environment. Have some respect for my environment. Have some respect for my property. Have respect for my friends. That kind of thing. Yep. That's a big no. Someone coming in with blatant disregard for any of the games that are being played, or just has no respect for how the game is played, starts making up their own little rules or anything like that. It's like, why have I wasted all the time planning? How have I wasted the food? I wanted a really nice time with my friends and everything, and yet it's just blown apart because someone doesn't have any courtesy. It's quite quite a thing that you don't. Cut all that.
No, I understand. Yeah, and it is one of those, like, my biggest one is damaging a game.
Mm-hmm.
Accidental damage, fine. If you slam one of the pieces off the table and snap it in half, I'm going to make you replace it. There's a lot of games in my shelf that you can't buy anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And when you come to play them at my house, then I expect...
My house, my rules kind of thing.
Yeah, I expect you to respect the game. Some of these games cost a lot of money.
Yeah. I think there's an element of like don't stress by how your games are handled or treated in a way, because they're always going to be pulled on and off the shelf. They're always going to be, there are going to be, this card's been it's been bent in the corner kind of thing. Things going to happen to it, so don't stress too much. But yeah, no, there's that line between general wear and tear and someone just blatantly trashing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Throwing stuff around.
Absolutely, and it is one of those. You expect general wear and tear, and you're never going to tell people off if they drop a token on the floor and don't pick it up straight away. Whatever.
Drop a token in their drink.
Yeah, by accident, fine. It don't matter. It's a token. It probably isn't that important.
To be fair, like a lot of places online now, you can buy spares anyway, or you can buy proxies.
Yeah, but if you pick something up and bend the cards on purpose and expect to have to pay for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if someone picks up and they put a bend in the corner so they know that card later on in the game. That's a no-no.
I bend cards when I shuffle because that's the way I shuffle. But if I'm playing somebody else's game, I will always ask them if they're happy for me to do it. If not, I won't. But it's having that respect instead of just me walking in and bending the cards and doing it. Like, slightly off topic, but my wife reads books without bending the spine.
Mm-hmm.
I won't go up to her book and pick it up and open it and crack the spine.
My girlfriend's totally the opposite. She will get a brand new book and she will break that spine.
Yeah.
Every time I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah. See, I do. When I open a book, I like to have it flat.
Mm-hmm.
So I will. I don't intend to do it. But if I'm reading somebody else's book, like if I read one of her books, I will not bend the spine because she'll kill me. And there is that respect, some people don't like their rule books being folded open.
No.
Like back on themselves.
See, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, but it's one of those things, isn't it? Like, at some point, that rule book will fall apart. I've got 200 games. If I'm playing a game that much that it's doing that, then it served its purpose.
Mm-hmm. That's why they're all online. You can always, if you know that one's going to get a lot of use, print it out.
Absolutely.
When you got a working printer.
Yeah. And if you don't like the way somebody is handling your game or acting around your game, speak to them.
Mm-hmm.
Don't shout at them, berate them, whatever. Just say to them, look, do you mind not doing that? If they get annoyed about it and start back-chatting or whatever, then it's a lack of respect from them.
Mm-hmm.
Most people will stand up for you for your game because it's your game.
Yeah.
Like, there's somebody I used to play games with, don't play games with her that much anymore, who sleeves everything.
So do you. You pretty much sleeved everything.
No, not all of my games.
Right.
I've sleeved all of Villainous.
All of Villainous.
Because my 5-year-old loves it.
Yes. Which, in a way, again, that's not more of a respect thing, but if you know that people may not have the best hygiene, sleeving cards is probably a really sensible thing.
Absolutely, but I'm not going to go out and spend, normally, I'm not going to go out and spend more on sleeves than I have on the game. But if somebody's spent the time sleeving a game, it normally means
they've spent a lot.
They want it kept the way it is.
Yeah.
So don't be pulling the card out of the sleeve or stuff like that, and just be a bit more wary around those games.
Mm-hmm.
Just ask, do you mind if I have a drink here?
Yeah.
I can put it over there, whatever. Just bits like that. It's just general respect, I think.
Yeah.
For most of it.
Yeah. That's the main thing for a no is respect.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add about game nights?
the only thing really for me is things like, a week or two after, however regularly you do it, get back in touch with everyone and kind of go, hey, here's the scores from that night. If you've got a regular group, have a little scoreboard, something like that, and just kind of go through and say, hey, here's how it went. Here's what we played. If you're up for it again, let me know what games you want to play, or we're going to be playing these games next.
Oh, there's something. There's some people I know that play games with certain people, and they won't play unless it's at their house, which is fine. That's up to them. But when you're put in a position where you don't want to go to that person's house, it should be okay. I know it's upsetting that you can't play with those people and they won't come and play with you or whatever, and it's really hard in their scenario because one of the people that doesn't go anywhere else is the DM for their Dungeons and Dragons. But there's certain reasons that you might not want to go to their house. People might not want to come to your house, whatever. It's just, once again, it's just respect that decision. Yeah, it's not great. And you should, if somebody says, "Oh, I need to be at home because my dog's ill," I can't play unless my dog's ill. Do you mind if we come to my house and do it? Then fine.
But that is quite useful for. There's these tabletop places that are springing up all around the country now, and it's like, well, I can't go to your house, or you won't come to my house because of situations or whatever. But you're still happy to play games together. Go to a tabletop venue.
Or a pub.
Yeah.
We used to play in a pub in town. It's where we used to play Gloomhaven. Most pubs are okay as long as you're buying drinks and eating food. You don't even need to buy one lot. We were there for like 6 hours and bought one drink each and a sandwich. There are places you can do this. More pubs are more friendly to it now these days.
Yeah, a lot of pubs now have their own board games to play. Obviously, it's not going to be your Gloomhavens. It's not going to be your Seven Wonders. It's not going to be stuff like that. It's going to be Monopoly, Cluedo, Guess Who, that pack kind of
cards.
stuff. Yeah, pack cards. Maybe a game of Yahtzee, something like that.
Absolutely, and it is just one of those. Like the main thing for me is just that everybody respects it. Everybody enjoys themselves. There's nothing I like better than finishing a game night, either driving home, walking home, or packing away like the last few things in my own house, and knowing that everybody enjoyed themselves. There's nothing more fulfilling than that.
No, it's true. It's not a social night where the games have been brought out. Yep. It's a game night. Yep. So I mentioned this earlier. No one is not allowed to play.
Yeah,
they have. You're going there to play a game. You know what's going to happen. You know that there is that expectation of you to play a game.
Yeah.
Even if it's you turn up and you play one game and you go, you know what, I'm not feeling it tonight. Okay, no worries.
Yep.
We'll do it again some other time. If you're bringing a partner or something and they're like, I don't want to play games. Again, it's not really that kind of environment.
On that note, if somebody does do that, I'm more than happy for you not to do it. But don't expect everybody else to do something different. If you do choose not to play a game, then sit and watch. Or go home, or do something that doesn't involve everybody else that's playing the game. Because people are there to play games. If you choose not to play, that's fine by me, but don't then distract from the game.
No, you've got to then make your own entertainment whilst everyone else is doing what they're there to do.
Yep, absolutely. Have we got anything else on that? No? All good. Let's move on to everyone's favourite segment, and that will be Pop's Quiz. Right, I've got 5 questions again. Shock horror. These ones are a little bit different. Well, I think they are. So we'll go from we'll go for number one straight away. Are you ready? What is the most expensive board game ever made?
Most expensive board game ever made. Is it one you own?
No.
You don't own it. I'm going to say something stupid like it's some kind of version of Monopoly.
No. It's a version of something.
It's a version of like Cluedo or something.
No, it is a chess set.
Okay. No, that makes sense.
It is the Duel Royale chess set. And it's valued.
See if I can guess how much it's worth.
Go on then.
I'm going to go with like £17 million.
Oh, £9.8 million.
Oh, I wasn't too far off.
So
Less than 10 million
yeah,
out.
it's a full jewelled chess set.
That sounds amazing. That sounds really, really cool. Wish I could play chess.
Question number 2. According to GameNerds.com, what was the best-selling board game of 2024?
I'm going to go with... I'm going to go with Arcs.
Yes, number 1, Arcs. Just so for people's knowledge, number 2 was Wormspan. Number 3 was Lord of the Rings Duel for Middle-earth. Sky Team came in at 18th.
Oh.
Obviously, that is just according to Game Nerds. That is the first one that pops up when you Google what was the best-selling game. There are others that say otherwise, but yeah, that's the information I had. So, here's a game we haven't spoken about on this podcast so far. How many blocks are there in a full Jenga set?
I didn't know this was a maths lesson. You have to count on my fingers.
Insert.
Is there a time limit? Can you hear the cogs ticking? I'm gonna go 30.
54.
Is it that high?
Apparently so.
I didn't think it was that high. I thought there was only like 10 rows, but
No.
because there's three on each row, isn't
Yeah,
there? So
in a full Jenga set, it says it's 54.
54. Well, I'll have to buy Jenga and find out.
Question number 4. What is the largest game ever commercially produced?
Largest?
Yeah.
As in table presence or?
Most components, biggest board, most area space covered, biggest box.
Does that include expansions and things like that, or
Nope.
just the core box?
Yep.
I've got to go with Twilight Imperium just because it's the biggest game I know.
That doesn't even cover like an eighth of the board.
I don't even know any game that's bigger than Twilight Imperium.
It is the campaign for North Africa.
You don't own that.
I don't own that.
You need to own that.
It won't fit in here.
Really?
It is colossal. When we were at the expo, did you see their risk board for the Napoleonic War?
I don't recall.
It's
Maybe we went past it, but I don't recall.
yeah. I'll point it out if they're there again this year. It is
Yeah.
it's massive. It is so big. I'll show you pictures later on
Mm.
for those that want to have a look at it. It's the campaign for North Africa.
We'll get a picture of it posted on X.
Yeah, we'll try and get that up. Right, last question. Question 5. In the 1980s, which game was made into an animated TV show?
I should know this.
You definitely should.
Can I have a clue? You can say no.
You can. I'm just trying to give you a clue without giving away what it is. It's not necessarily a board game.
Well, that you said what game was turned into a...
Yeah. It doesn't involve a board as such. Think of a famous 80s cartoon that's based on a game. A very, very famous game. Dungeons and Dragons.
I don't count that as a board game. Come on.
It is a board game. It's a game.
It's a tabletop game.
It's an RPG. It's a role-playing game.
Yes. But it's a tabletop game. It's not a board game.
That's why I said it's not technically
Because
a board game. We do involved it. We've spoken about D&D.
We have, and yes, I vaguely remember the D&D cartoon, but it wasn't something. I wasn't a geek back in the 80s. I was
Just now.
Just now. As I got older, I became a geek. But when I was growing up, I was a cool kid who played football in the street. Can't play football in the street anymore. There's too many cars.
Too many knives.
Well, and that.
That's the second time in a row, mate, that you've got one.
I know.
These questions are getting hard, aren't they? I think
See,
we need to play some more games.
I think we do.
How long have we been going for?
Hour and 10.
Oh, Jesus, that wasn't a short episode.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be a short one.
Thanks to everyone for listening. Please follow us on Instagram, X. Leave us a review. Leave us some comments. Let us know what you want to hear, what you don't like, whatever. We're big boys. We can take it.
What are the social media handles?
On X, it is at Tome of Worms Pod, all lowercase. On Instagram, it is _Tome _of _worms_pod. We have been putting old episodes up on YouTube. In the future, we'll probably be uploading there at the same time as our Spotify channel. We are still looking at getting onto other podcast platforms. This may have been done already by the time we get to where we are now, depending when we put this episode out. But yeah, please leave some comments. Please tell everybody about our podcast, and give us some feedback. So far, I've had feedback in person, but we haven't really had much in terms of comments or that. So please let us know if you enjoy it, what you enjoy, what you don't enjoy, and we'll take that into account. Thanks again. We'll see you all soon.
Ta-ra.